vibe. Tonight we ain't with no drama. Tell him dig it outside.
Live from his apartment, it's the Serg Podcast. With tonight's guest. Now, here's your host, Sergio Santana.
Welcome to the Serg Podcast. So the DNC had their convention this week, and it wasn't a typical convention. And Trump is under fire for making remarks saying that it was the angriest, darkest, gloomiest convention of all American history. And I don't know where, like, he's kind of lying because, like, it was going to be a Zoom in Delaware. Via Zoom in Delaware. It's 2020 people. The only thing it was missing was like an Elon Musk Tesla Cybertruck and like cyberpunks with like the piercings and the leather jackets and the mohawks and all that stuff. It's 2020 sucks all the way around. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, the Pentagon said that they're starting a task force for the UFO sightings that we've been seeing. And I feel like it's complete BS because they're pretty sure that they've been here. There's been a task force and they're men in black. So I feel like the men in black are aliens too. And they just been among us all this time. Like we were joking about this last week, and we were saying like, you know, the poppy stores would be like alien groceries. They're probably already making hoagies for us already in disguise. The mixed breed you have at home that you've been taking care of and you rescued is probably an alien just chilling in the house. Higher breed. Listen, it's a higher intelligent animal because that's why I can hear those whistles and we can't in that frequency. So yeah, deal with it. It is what it is. They're here already.
Now that's the worst disguise ever. That guy's definitely an alien.
You don't like it? You can kiss my furry little butt.
Postmaster General is also under fire for not reversing the changes that he already made in the U.S. Post Office around the country and bringing out all those sorting machines and cutting hours, all those things. And, you know, it's going to definitely affect our elections in November. But I feel like they just need to change things. Like, I feel like Amazon's already taken over. Like, I don't think it's really going to make a difference. Like, the Amazon uses them, FedEx, UPS, whatever other services. They're going to be having drones drops packages off probably soon. I just feel like we should be able to vote via our Amazon Prime membership. I feel like that should be part of it. Like, that just makes sense, right? I should be able to just click a button and, like, that's it. Like, come on, like, y'all can pass that bill. Stop playing. Aunt Becky from Full House is going to be in jail for 2 months. This is crazy. She's going to be in jail for 2 months because she bribed to try to get her daughter into college, which if you don't know the story, I'm sure you can read up on it. It happened, I think like a year or two ago. And then the same thing with her husband. He 5 months, actually a little bit longer. 5 months. He's going to get 5 months in jail. He's a fashion designer. So I think it was like $500,000 they bribed or something. I don't know. Either way, it's just crazy because like all the kids are at home. Full house at home, just doing school on Zoom. So like, no one's in college. No one. It was like, what was the point, Aunt Becky? You're just gonna be stuck in jail with a mask on, you know, during a pandemic for 2 months. Got a great show for you guys tonight. That's. I don't want to leave it on a damper note because I mean the picture Aunt Becky in there. I hope Uncle Jesse like comes to see her and visits. I want to see an episode with Uncle Jesse and the kids and twins coming to visit Aunt Becky. I'm on a rampage right now. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Stick around. Top stories tonight. An Australian man punches a shark. A UK man wraps his neighbor's entire car in cellophane. A Swiss town has cocoa rain. And a Florida man floods his jail cell by repeatedly flushing the toilet. So tonight's show is awesome, like always, and I know I always say it's great and good, but it always is, and it's no different tonight. Our guest tonight is veteran comedian and comedy club owner and half of the Vicky and Vinnie live show, Vinnie Brand. And also from our musical guests, we have country rap superstar Franklin Embry. So you have to watch the whole show because everything's great. Stick around.
Here, Rodney, I ain't kidding. I've been wanting to beat your ass since y'all started dating, honestly. I've been wanting to beat your ass. And now I'm going to. Okay? Look out. Look out. Everybody share this. We're looking for Rodney. We're looking for Rodney.
Ooh, hey. I heard somebody was looking for Rodney. Found him. Yeah, that's right. You ain't gonna find me. Talk all that trash you want on the internets and all that. And I did block you. And I did break that daggone finger ring. Like, you broke my heart. And I was at the casinos. And I had me a great weekend. And you know what? You try to come get, I got something for you. I'll get you out my fishing knife. And yes, it's disguised. Like, let that mustache fall off. I have other ones. I got one underneath it, another one on top of it. You're looking for Rodney. Rodney's dead. You hear me? Dead.
Does heaven know why there's so much pain? All this tension, no one wants to listen. We need change.
Wake up to a tragedy, so sad to see. Is this world unraveling? We're battling. Well, they teach that we're great, but we embrace all this hate that the media feeds us. It ain't no Facebook debate. Heart racing, I'm pacing as I pray for the nation. But all I see is devastation on news publications. They're dividing us all. Divided we fall. So who will man up against propaganda and answer the call? I try and speak to the Lord, I'm sure he feels all this pain. But I knock on heaven's door in hopes they hear my complaints. Presidential campaigns, man, so much disdain. Race baiting, it's frustrating, the world is so vain.
Does heaven know why there's so much pain? All this tension, no one wants to listen. We need a change. Does heaven know about the problems we're facing? So much war, poverty and sickness. It's the revelation.
I'm searching for salvation. Is this the revelation? Heart aching, I'm shaking. I think the devil's invading. Cause lately we've been on edge. They try and get in our head. Vampires with a thirst for bloodshed. It's like they want us to fight. Black versus white. Christian, Muslim, Jews, all the riots they incite. You can't tell me it's right when someone fears for their life. Forget the politics, man, we need to unite and invite something better. Spread love, not terror. Peace on earth and in the hurt, don't ever say never. You just gotta believe, turn off the machine. No retreat, no surrender, no accepting defeat. Let's go.
Does heaven know why there's so much pain? All this tension, no one wants to listen. We need a change. Does heaven know about the problems we're facing? So much war, poverty and sickness. It's the revelation. Does heaven know why there's so much pain? All this tension, no one wants to listen. We need a change. Does heaven know about the problems we're facing? So much war, poverty and sickness. It's the revelation. Why there's so much pain? All this tension, no one wants to listen. We need a change.
Coming this fall to Quibi.
Hey guys, Rock here. Just wanted to fill you in on some news on my new movie, starring me and Kevin Hart. I know what you're thinking. Why do you keep making movies with this shrimp? Well, the movie's about a starving Ethiopian boy, and he fit the bill. so I grew a beard out to be his caretaker.
Hey, boom, pow, zip, zing. Shut up, Dwayne. What do you know? They put you in the movie because I'm in the movie. You might be a rock, but I'm the pebble. And the Bible said that this pebble is the one that's going to be the cornerstone. Poof.
Get the handle, gon' get the handle, get the handle, get the handle, gon' get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. Watch me hit it, Mickey Mantle, get lit up like a candle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle, 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 get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, flirting with the chick that's serving. The liquor's quicker, keep that mixer, shoot it, Kyrie Irving. Off top, need it like chop chop. Beam going down like Young Jock. Pour it on the rocks, it's getting hot like body shots off Megan Fox. Lit that fifth, I'm getting lit. Bourbon drips with every sip. Hit that shit like a ninja kick in a Chinese flick. Yeah, I'm so ripped. Running up the visa like a party in a visa. Got a leader for that diva. I'm think it's nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm getting folded. Don't you know I'm so devoted? Grab the handle, cause a scandal. Everybody loaded. Yeah, I'm getting folded. Don't you know I'm so devoted? Grab the handle, cause a scandal. Everybody loaded. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. Watch me hit it, Mickey Mantle, get lit up like a candle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle, 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 get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. Get the handle, Mickey Mantle of this bourbon shit. Grab that birdie quick, man, I'm about to murder it. You ain't heard the kid, I prefer to heard the fifth. Slur your words to this, we get lit, we double fist. Pop that bottle, let's go, remove the nozzle, you know. Full throttle till we wobble, we get turned like a merry-go. Here we go again, stumbling, we going in, tumbling like Walter Berlin. Don't you know we hooligans? Beat me up, just fill my cup. Grab the handle, beat it up, Kentucky lean. It seems I'm a fiend, and I still don't give no fucks. I'll drink your dick in the dirt, take passed out, tasting the earth. Head first till your liver hurts. Grab the handle, let's do work. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle. Watch me hit it, Mickey Mantle, get lit up like a candle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle, 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 get the handle. I'm swerving on that bourbon, boy, gon' get the handle.
Hell no! Oh, shit! Oh!
Alcohol abuse.
God damn it!
Hey, that's shots.
Clean that shit up!
You gotta do shots now.
He don't need that.
Coming this holiday season to Disney Plus.
This election means so much more than it ever did before. I'm not gonna take away my shot. I'm not gonna take away my shot.
Manuel reprises his role in this fantastic rendition of an election year. Hamilton, Part 2, the sequel. And we have a new co-star. That's right, POTUS himself.
What are you doing? No, I don't represent that. I don't want to think about that. You're totally whack.
So don't miss out on Hamilton Part 2, the sequel.
Odd stories, weird stories, stories from across the globe. It's time for Top Stories Tonight.
Alright, so it's top story time, and our first story tonight is Australian man punches a great white shark to save his wife. It's like, why? Like, why would you do that? There's plenty of fish in the sea. But it's Australia, so I feel like they're always punching like CGI characters, like big old King Kong looking things, or like Pacific Rim. It's just a whole other world out there. I feel like they have like a Stargate. I don't know. Moving on to our next story, a UK man wrapped his neighbor's car in cellophane because he blocked his driveway. Totally different vibe going on in the UK, because I remember when that happened to me, and I asked my neighbor to move it, he told me he was going to light up the whole block. Like, that's what so, hey, man, you know, it's America, it's UK. But it just seems crazy, like, because it just, like, if you wanted them to move the car, like, now you got to wrap this in saran wrap. This just seems like a pain. They're not going to move it that quick. They have to cut all that stuff off. And who has saran wrap just sitting on deck? Like, you know what I'm going to do to get them back? I'm going to take all the saran wrap that I have in our closet. Do they call them closets? In our closet. And I'm going to wrap his vehicle. And then I'm going to drink some tea after I do that. I hope you guys aren't offended I did that. But you know what, though? I just don't understand, like, who has, like, again, why would you have that much saran wrap? Like, are you just like a swinger or something like that? Do you wrap yourself in that and get, like, tickled with feathers? I don't know what you do with your life. But that's what happened. That's the headline. Moving on to the next story. Swiss Town had cocoa rain after a chocolate factory glitch. Cocoa rain. I know. I keep thinking about purple rain. Cocoa rain. You guys remember that? Like, it was like old. It's like 13 years ago. It was on YouTube. It was we had to look this up. Zunday like Monday with a Z. So it's Tay Zunday. And he has like glasses and stuff. He looks like Urkel. He sang Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate rain. Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Chocolate rain. A baby born will die before the sin. Chocolate rain. The school books say it can't be here again. Chocolate rain. The prisons make you wonder where it went. Chocolate rain.
Saying chocolate rain, but we talking about cocoa rain. I wonder if it smelled like cocoa, like chocolate and everything. Because you know how you can smell rain? You smell it, it smells like hot cocoa out this bitch. Like, it probably just smells really good, like a festival or something. Swiss, especially like Swiss hot cocoa. You know, you've seen that. They ain't changed that. They ain't changed packaging on that. They have those white women on the front of the packaging on that. They haven't changed that yet. I don't know if that's offensive though, but especially because they are pushing cocoa. Moving on to the next story. Florida man. Always good stories every time I start with the Florida man. You know I love my Florida stories. He repeatedly flushed his toilet to flood his jail cell. That's the headline. That's not anything like new. People do stuff like that, especially if you have kids and they're under 3. They do it too. I don't know what he was doing it for. I don't know, like, he was looking for a gator. I don't know if he had turtle head popping out. I don't know. I don't know if he needed attention. But that's Florida. And that was tonight's top stories. Let's jump right into the interviews.
Our first guest tonight is veteran stand-up comedian and comedy club owner and one half of the Vicky and Vinnie live show, Mr. Vinnie Brand. All right, well, our first guest for tonight is Vinnie Brand. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for him.
I love it.
For my viewers and my listeners, can you just give a brief history on yourself for them?
Oh, man, a brief history of me, that's hard to do. My wife and I own and operate Stress Factory Comedy Club, Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Brunswick, New Jersey. We've been doing it for going on 30 years. Gratefully, luckily, one of the most well-renowned clubs. I hate saying that about myself, but it's true. And now we're doing our own show called the Vicky and Vinnie Live, which is we're doing in the pandemic tent that we built. And that's it. I got 6 kids, and I've been doing stand-up forever, and I love entertaining people. I mean, it's like I have to give you a very super truncated version, but there we go.
Yeah, no, it's great. As far as like stand-up, you've seen stand-up change in so many different variations over the decades. So, what's your stance on like the future of it now? It's seeing that you're in this like pandemic tent that you're working out of. So,
listen, everybody's trying to find out
yeah,
what works for them. It's an exciting time, even though it sucks, right? So, for us, we built an incredible space outside, and we're doing our live show. And, some guys are doing Zoom shows. Podcasts are getting bigger. Guys like yourself out creating content.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the way I look at it is there's got to be a way to marry live, I can see you, feel you, touch you, although those things are all illegal now, and laugh. So for us, it's building that tent, and we spent a ton of time, energy, and money doing it so that people can still feel that connectivity, right? There's a reason that people don't wander off and live in Montana by themselves in a yurt, because they need that. Other guys are connecting through Zoom, and there's some people think that that's going to be the new thing. I think it'll be a thing. I don't think it's going to be the new thing. So, we're trying to keep that moment alive and change it as we need to. Social distancing and make it safe, make them feel comfortable. That's kind of how we're going about it.
It looks like you guys are doing like a vaudevillian type of thing, like a feel to it. It's like a variety of things going.
Well, the Vicky Vinnie Live show is music and comedy. And it's funny you say vaudeville, because I think of vaudeville, I think jugglers and knife throwers, and hey, we're getting joined by the better half of our show.
Thanks to you.
Will you be able to hear? Because I can.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to come say hi.
You gotta stay for a minute.
I am.
No, people like you more than me.
I'm so busy with kids. This is my kid time right now.
I got you.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vicky's always been a super hard worker and a great life partner in every way, right? So I said, come do this show live. And I swear to God, week 1, people are like, I like her better than you. I'm like, what is that? Who says that? No, stay here. No, listen, even if you think it, you say that to your other friend. You go, yeah, I like Vinnie or Vicky better than Vinnie. You don't go to Vinnie and say, I like her more than you.
No, it's just they don't have any expectations because I'm not a comedian. There's no expectations.
Let me tell you something.
I understand that. Yeah.
No, they like her. Where you going?
I gotta go.
You can't know. See, let me tell you something.
She's already. She's quick. Quick, like 3 minutes and out. I'm out.
No, that's how you know who the bigger star is. Okay, the bigger star goes hi, and they're off. Right, getting a pedicure.
No,
and the grunt. I have to do the goddamn work.
You're funnier than I am. Bye. Nice meeting you.
Bye. Nice meeting you as well.
That's bullshit, right? Like, that's the thing. The PR guy does all the work, and then, Kelly Ripa pops in, I am beautiful, and off she goes. That's my wife. So anyway, we're having a lot of fun with it. And so back to the vaudeville thing, I thought, well, maybe we'll do a juggler or something someday for fun. One of the things we don't do is we don't do an interview with the guest. We say, here are the guests. We talk to the band. The comics come on and do the thing, and we're not interviewing them because there's a lot of it, and we want people at home going, this is it.
Yeah.
So last night's show was super successful.
So you're doing. I mean, it's a paid show, but how do you feel about you're streaming it too? So. Is it because like of the social distancing thing, you can't have as many people there, so you're just trying to get as many, I guess, audience or eyeballs on it, or how does that work?
No, what we started doing the first Vicky and Vinnie live shows were done without an audience in the club, and it was born of people emailing us saying, I miss you guys so much. I miss laughing. I need to laugh. And I don't want to make myself sound like the most philanthropic, wonderful human being on the planet. But my wife and I said, look, let's do a show. And for the people that are afraid to go out there, they're house-born. Listen, I've done 2 or 3 Zoom shows for free, one for the Fairfield County mental health workers, one for Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County, one for a corporation that was, I want to name a corporation because they don't want anyone to know what they did. But they did it for their employees. I don't know why they weren't so quiet. They gave me a small bit of money. The other ones were done for free, but it's because when we started, it was because people that are afraid to go out and are landlocked, in their house, we wanted to give them something. And then we got a little audience in, and then it just kept morphing. And now, of course, you could do it live with a full audience. And the free broadcast is still because there are people that are outside our area.
Yeah.
So we want to give people something free at home. And of course, we want to grow an audience. And so now it's like all these elements coming together as to why we do it.
Okay.
It's exposing great comics. It's building an audience. It's giving back to the community. We haven't monetized it. We're not making money on it, but it's a labor of love right now. Maybe someday it'll make some money. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to build it first before it can just I guess monetize it. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm in the same position where I'm still learning, trying to grow that as well. So I know I see a lot of people do Patreon and stuff like that. So, you always put that stuff behind that paid wall. But other than that, yeah.
Let me say this about what I try and tell every young person. Doesn't matter, entertainer, architect, doesn't matter. Obviously, money is great. I've been dirt poor in my life. When I opened the club, I lived in a boarding house, and I've been dirt poor. And in the pandemic, the reality of being dirt poor again is real. It could really happen. And maybe I should be getting a job at Amazon, right? But I tell everybody, you got to do what feeds your passion, and then make money the secondary or the derivative of that. So, everybody wants Patreon, everyone wants a paywall, everybody wants all these things, and I want them too. I'm not pretending I don't. Mm-hmm. But if that comes, I'll be very happy. It's not why. It's I want a great product.
Yeah.
I want a great, our production team. I got this guy Mike Kay doing sound. He's top flight. I have Crystal Cowling and Mark McCoy and Derek Stevens and my wife and Rob Shotwell came in and helped out early, and all these great collaborators came together, and no one's making money. We're just building a sweet thing. And so, they're great people,
Yeah. And then as far as how I know, because we're still trying to figure out how it's going to work in the future. So you're outside in the wintertime, I guess we're going back inside. So you'd have to go take temperatures and things like that. I don't know if you're doing it now to get people inside until it's all over, or how. Because I haven't been to, like I said, to any of these shows that they've done so far outside. I just couldn't imagine what it's going to be like inside, especially if you want to laugh. You're laughing with a mask on. I just think that's going to be odd, right?
They're saying you can laugh at a table 6 feet apart from somebody else. Listen, I don't want to get into a whole what I do and don't think about the virus, right? Because I think it's a real virus. I think it's scary.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't really see a significant difference between going to the Home Depot to buy pavers, right? Or sitting on an airplane or a train or a bus, all of which is happening every day of the week.
Exactly.
And going to a comedy club and laughing. In fact, I think planes, buses, and trains are inherently 10 times more dangerous. And now, you got to open that stuff up too. And, I am not dismissive at all of how significant any illness is, this one included. But we got to figure that out. And I think you're probably a heck of a lot safer if you follow the protocol. Wear the mask. You go in the bathroom, wear the mask. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Try to be smart, right? And if you're sick, this is hard for a lot of people. If you're sick, and I'm going to say this in a medical way, okay? It might get lost on some of your listeners. If you're sick, stay the fuck home, okay? Like whether it's diarrhea or COVID, stay the fuck home.
Exactly.
Can I curse on your podcast?
Absolutely. It's PG-13.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just, like COVID came out and the world shut down, and I'm laughing because I'm like, I think I have a robust immune system because I'm around thousands of people a week, and I shake hands and I hug, and so I think my immune system is fucking top flight, right?
Yeah, you have to be exposed. I think when they told us to stay home, like this is making it worse, right? You have to.
I think there's an element making it worse. Now, I don't want to shake hands anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessary. I can respect you without shaking your hand. So what I do now, if someone wants to shake hands, I have a pump bottle of sanitizer, and I pump 5 or 6, and then there you go, with a sloppy wet hand. Now, if you still want to shake my hand, you're in. You're in.
I do the fist pump now. That's all I do. That's so.
Well, okay, the fist pump though. I mean, that's just as fucking dangerous. You think COVID goes, damn? If they just interlocked fingers, I'd be set.
You're just hitting the knuckles. It's just the tip. It's just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip. Oh my God, just the tip. You sound like a young boy. Just the tip.
So now that, like I said, it's like that. So now it's like fewer bookings, obviously. So as far as like developing talent, like how was your approach before, and what do you think your approach is going to be like moving forward with that?
I think to develop talent now as a young comic, it's a whole new landscape. And the guys that can figure out how to be really funny and engaging online, well, in person, they should be dynamic, right? Like, I like to think that online, I'm still pretty goddamn funny, right? But now these guys developing, a guy coming up today who has to learn how to be funny on a Zoom show will either stink tragically and never know, or he or she will get funny and they'll be incredible. So it's interesting. I don't know how, if you're never exposed to a live audience staring at you like you owe them money.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you first start.
Yeah, because they're just waiting for you. I guess they're waiting to judge you. That's what it feels like. You're trying. Yeah, especially coming from now the Philly comedy scene. That's like one of the hardest scenes. Like they just want to. I'm wearing an Eagles jersey right now. I mean, yeah.
I see that, man. I see that.
That we're a hard city. So.
I'll tell you what. I'll be in Philly Friday. I'm doing DeBella's show. Vicky and I are doing it. I love Philly audiences, and here's why. I love New Jersey audiences, Philly audiences, New York audiences, Boston audiences. Man, you're funny, or they will let you know. They don't boo. They're not rude. They just.
Yeah.
Okay. And for me, that's awesome. I love it. Now, I lost my train of thought. Well, back to Philly. I love Philly. I forgot what the hell I was going to say. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about how they judgmental, like sometimes the audiences, which I think is good. That makes you a better comic. Or if you have a comic before you that's funnier, you got to follow them. It pushes you.
I tell. Now, how long are you doing stand up?
I've been doing it off and on for years. Like I started when I was 15. I'm 40 now, which is crazy to say. It's almost embarrassing. But I the last 5 years, I would say I was the most consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I tell all guys, and I say guys, that's
I know what you mean. Just
almost illegal today. like almost like what do you mean, guys?
Yeah.
One of my favorite. I'll tell you later. So I tell all comics, you want to be good? Consistency. Show up, right? Show up. That is, sorry, hang on. Show up. That is the most important thing. So you've got to want to be there all the time. And let me just text this guy, tell him not to call me again just yet. I'm getting a call.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Like you have to, I think 90% of it is just showing up and the other 10% might be some talent or something. I think, in my case, for me, I know, and I don't know about other comics, I had the drive to do it, but it was more of, I had a family and I just wanted to make sure I had that covered. Once I got my family situation, I knew they were taken care of because I felt like comedy wasn't going to do that right away. It was going to be it's a marathon, comedy wasn't going to take care of those things. And it doesn't promise anything to anyone either. So I think as I got older and I matured in it, I just kept trying to get funnier. It wasn't about, monetizing it like you were saying with even the online shows and stuff. It's really just about improving your skill set and, whatever happens.
I had I had kids at 22 years old, so I couldn't go on the road, go to LA, sleep on a couch, test for pilots. I knew everybody, and I'm reasonably well-liked individual. There's some people that hate me, but they're idiots, and they're wrong. And so I couldn't go do things. Now some guy did it. Ray Romano did it with 3 other kids. I mean, that guy put it on the line, and he worked his ass off, and he did something I couldn't do or didn't do. Couldn't is a very interesting phrase. He did something I didn't do. Now, there are a lot of Ray Romanos that never became Ray Romano. And there are a lot of Vinnie Brands that didn't become Vinnie Brands. So consistency, effort, self-reflection, developing now, you better want to really reflect on what the hell is funny, right?
Yeah.
We're in a really tough time for stand-up because comics are being pounded by ridiculousness, and we're a free speech forum. So when you start attacking free speech, we're under attack. I don't feel that way because I don't really care. It's funny. I've always said the same thing. If it's funny and absent malice, it's okay. So that's my.
I mean, comedy is comedy. You have to. Some people just don't have a sense of humor. I think that's the people that are the cancel culture. Not for in a broad. That sounds pretty broad statement, but they're part of it rather. That's what I mean.
Some people probably deserve to be canceled.
Yeah.
But the what they call the social justice warrior is out there actively. That's their moment. It's funny. Jeselnik does that great piece on thoughts and prayers, right?
Yeah.
And I love Jeselnik. And so he does that great piece. But one of the things he says is when people write thoughts and prayers, they're really saying, look at me, I'm still here, I count. Well, I feel like the cancel culture in many instances, it's people that need to count.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm going to count by taking so-and-so down. That's sad, tragic. And, listen, a very good friend of mine, I don't want to say the name because I don't want to fan the flames, is going through it right now. Very, very funny comic. Material that has murdered in front of audiences for years. Dynamic, hardworking. And they're attacking that comic right now over that material. And I'm like, hey, I got bad news for you. I've watched that comic do that material in front of that group. And they love it. So who the hell are you to sit in your living room and say, this is offensive?
Yeah.
You went out of your way to be offended. If you say to me right now, Vinnie, you're an asshole, you're not going to offend me.
No.
And I might go, well, that's the end of that. But you're not going to offend me. I'm not going to let you control my emotion to you.
Yeah. I actually, you know what? I love that you made that statement. I actually teach my kids that, and it's hard to teach that. I say all the time, you're allowing them when they make fun of them or something like that. You're allowing that to control your emotions. They see that, so they're feeding it into it, and they're doing it more. If you show them you don't care and you just walk away, then they see they have no power over you. You're giving them that power.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. You're giving them that power. You don't need to. You just ignore it. You're like, yeah.
It's a human dynamic.
Yeah.
that if somebody doesn't like you, it can, in your mind, negate the millions of people that do like you, and you will focus on the one that doesn't. You know how many times I've seen a comic murder in a room? 340 people, one person walks out, they get a standing ovation, the comic will walk off and go, what was that one person's problem?
Yeah.
And you're like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me, right? Like, it's funny. I try and say it in so many different ways. So most of the world's women don't even know I'm alive. And of all the women that do know I'm alive, only one loves me. But for me,
Yeah.
it's the only one that fucking matters.
That's all that matters. Exactly.
I got that one. She's not here on the podcast. She's upstairs doing whatever stars do. But the one that fucking matters is the one I'm focusing on, right?
Yeah.
So I've had women throw themselves at me. All right, that's a lie. But if it happened, it wouldn't matter. So why would it matter if a woman comes to me tomorrow and says, I think you're ugly? I just look at her and go, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go, should I change my hair? I go, I don't give a shit. I'm married. I got a better woman than you at home. So
Yeah.
that's how we have to look at bullying. And, now, listen, bullies need to be stood up to, no doubt. Some of this cancel culture, they're bullies.
Absolutely.
They're bullies. So
it's a double-edged sword for sure. Double-edged.
Yeah.
Sword. So other thing I was gonna ask you about, we were talking about it before we got on, about the mainstream versus like urban type, these two like lanes. I don't. It seems like there's these two lanes, and it's like, why? Because there's comics that are funny. They're funny. That's just it, right? Or where is it?
I don't book straight white males. I don't book gay people. I don't book black people. I don't book Spanish people. I don't book Asian, short, tall, fat, transgender. I don't book anybody. I book funny people.
Exactly.
That's what I book. Now, when you go see Dale Hughley, there may be more people of color in the audience than when I book Jim Gaffigan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The comment that I made on those two guys is they are top flight funny guys. And when I book Jessica Kirsten, I'm not booking a female lesbian comic. I'm booking a dynamic comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And, gay, straight, none of it matters to me. You got to go on that audience, go on that stage and kill. One of the funniest comics I know is Julia Scotti. Julia Scotti's a transgender comic. She's open about it. Mm-hmm. She's hysterical. She was funny when she was a comic as a man. It was Rick Scotti, and he became her. And they're both hysterically funny. And it's the same person, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And so I don't worry. Now, that's not to say that I wouldn't advertise to a transgender marketplace when she's on stage.
Yeah.
But I don't not market to straight people because she's funny.
Yeah.
Really fucking funny. And I know straight people that love her. I know gay people that love her. You shouldn't be looking at it that way. I feel the same way about politicians, right? You run, you're a Democrat. You win. Mm-hmm. You should never say then, this is a Democratic proposal. Look, you ran as a Democrat. You represent everybody. Exactly. Same for the Republicans. So.
Yeah, yeah, and I've seen that so much over the years. I've even had, like, when I was younger, when I first started, they would say, "Oh, we don't book Def Jam comics" or something like that. And I'm like, I've never been on Def Jam, It's like, what do you? So you kind of understood what they meant, though, And but I always felt the same way. Funny's funny, it is what it is. You're funny or you're not funny. That's it. And
and so I book what people will call a Def Jam comic. Yeah. I just don't promote it as, hey, this is Urban Night. Mm-hmm. Because I think that plenty of white people will find that shit funny. Exactly. Because it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
So, I had a dear customer come up for the show last night. Drove up from Burlington, New Jersey. She happens to be a woman of color. Came in, saw a show, loved it. This week I have Jackie Fabulous on the Vinnie Live show. Listen, I don't give a shit who you are. She's funny. And I get it. I'm not faulting anyone for promoting an urban night. That's not what I do. I like fun.
Nice, nice. All right, so where can everybody find you on social media?
All right, so Vinnie Brand Comic on Facebook, which is important to us. Stress Factory Comedy Club on Facebook, which is important to us. Vinnie and Vinnie Live on Facebook. I have too many. That's the other problem. I got to streamline. But on Twitter and Instagram, it's Vinnie_brand.
Okay.
And man, I'll tell you, I love doing your podcast. I'm sorry I missed my first call in this. I felt terrible.
It was fine, man. This was a great interview. Actually, you believe it or not, it happens more often than not, and so I'm used to it at this point. So I don't.
I felt terrible, and I also feel bad. You told me 15 minutes, and I blew the light 28 minutes in running. But was it a good interview? That's all I care about.
Great interview. That's why I had to keep you going. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Vinnie Brand.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Our musical guest tonight is a Kentucky country hip-hop recording artist and producer, and one of them bourbon boys, Franklin Embry. All right, so our musical guest for this evening is Franklin Embry. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for him.
What's up, man?
So appreciate you doing the show tonight. You are a Full Sail alum, so I was excited about that. Had to talk to you as well, and then I heard your music, and I was like, wow. This dude's like the real deal. Like he's no joke, man.
Right.
Yeah. So let's give my audience and my listeners a little brief introduction of yourself and your background.
Well, my name's Franklin Embry. I actually started out as a DJ many years ago. Then I transferred into production and stuff. Transferred into production, doing beats, engineering. And then kind of along the way, like, I don't know, I just wasn't finding artists that had the same passion and drive that I had to go where I wanted to go. So I was like, the hell with it. I'll just be the artist myself. And now here we are.
It's great.
Dropped my first album in 2014. I kind of got a late start on it, but, now it's really started to take off. Like, my most popular song has 2 million streams on Spotify. We got over 60,000 monthly listeners, and just trying to grow and grow every day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, that's the name of the game, man. And so, obviously, live performances come into play when you're trying to grow, like, fan bases and stuff. So right now, COVID has definitely hurt that for sure. But, how
absolutely
do you get around that?
Facebook, man. Facebook Live has been is really how we've been staying in people's faces. Like, we're getting ready to do a live feed right after I get done with you. We're gonna go live on Facebook, and luckily Facebook has introduced the stars and stuff for like the gamers and stuff, and they offered that to my page. So now, like, we're going on and we're doing merch giveaways and stuff like that, and playing music from the new album, and and they're sending stars. So, trying to supplement some of the income that we've lost from not touring this year, because that's really hurt us. Like, we've only done 3 shows this year, and we probably did 80 last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
do you? I know, like, a lot of people do these Zoom shows too. I don't know musicians. I know comedy, they do that, but
right.
I didn't know if you guys embrace anything similar, or,
No, this is actually my first time doing a Zoom call, so I was kind of like, all right, how we do this,
Yeah. Well, I do the interviews. I feel like it's perfect for this type of scenario, or even meetings, obviously, when you have several other people. For me, it's a little challenging when it's more than one person on the screen. It starts to get a little kind of odd. But to do comedy perform in any way seems it's just crazy, and interesting. I mean, I've had people perform, actually, musicians perform, and it's just me. I kind of like tuck away a little fast, and I kind of let you do your thing. But to have a whole bunch of those people just on the screen, just so you can see their faces,
right.
Right.
We have done a few of, like, the Facebook Live performances. We've done a few performances live, which is kind of hard for me, like when you don't have anybody to interact with, it's kind of, I don't know, like I'm still, we got to do one in September, but I'm still getting used to it and stuff, because you know, you have like nobody to interact with, so it's like a little bit awkward, you know. It's kind of like watching wrestling with no crowd.
All the sports, all the sporting games, all of that's kind of odd.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're playing the game, but it's just like something's not right, you know. I don't know. We're trying. I guess they're trying to get us used to it being this way, because there's a lot of talks of you know, with those virtual seats. You know, people are like, oh, I can do it virtually, you know, and you see someone's avatar sitting next to you, and it's just I don't know, man. It's 2020, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So you said, how long you been performing and, like, you know, writing at this point?
I mean, I've 20 years. 20 years I've been doing music. I've been professionally doing music since probably 2005. That's actually when I started actually making some money from the industry.
Okay.
You know, I've been touring as an artist since 2014.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of got a late start. Like I said, I started out as a DJ, and then I became a producer. You know, started making beats for a lot of like the local rappers around here, and then got in some legal trouble and was like, all right, I need to change my life around. And then I took off and went down to Full Sail. In 2004, graduated there with a recording arts degree in 2005. From there, I moved to Nashville, worked in Omni Sound as an assistant engineer, you know, like, and then that was my real first experience of how the industry really is. You know what I'm saying? Like the politics, just everything that goes on with the industry, and kind of figured out pretty quickly within a year of being in Nashville that engineering, at least assistant engineering, was not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were just doing publishing demos all day long. Like they come in and just knock out 12 records a day. There was no creativity, no nothing. It was just set up, go, you know, and then rough mix, they're out the door. There was no creativity. There was nothing. The things that made me fall in love with music, you know, that was totally missing. Like when I was in Nashville, and I was working like 60 to 90-hour weeks, making like $300 a week.
So how would you describe your music?
All right. It's like a gumbo. It's like a Southern gumbo. Okay. If you take Johnny Cash and Pimp C and, you know, maybe a little Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like growing up, I was a fan of all genres of music, you know, like, hip hop spoke to me really early on in my life. Like Pac is probably my favorite, rapper of all time. Pimp C's probably right there behind him. Like I love old school UGK. So basically, you know, but I also love like Garth Brooks, and I also love like 80s hair bands and Nirvana. And so I've just kind of like just mixed it all up into a pot and tried to like make my own little goulash or something. You know what I'm saying? Just, and the thing with me is like, it was so crazy because I'm such a hip hop head, but I was raised on a cattle farm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Footloose, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, you can't dance. You can't listen to hip hop, though. So you say you're working on an album now. So what's your future?
Yeah. Huh?
So you're working on the album. So what's your future plans currently with that?
Well, right now I'm doing the Trillbillies project with an artist from South Carolina named Camo Collins. We just figured the name Trillbillies really like fit who we were and what we, you know, because we come from the trill side, but we come from that hillbilly side too.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and we're trying to get that brand built right now. And then, like I said, I'm working on an album. It's called Bourbon Blues: The Final Chapter. It's basically I have three. I'm from Kentucky, so bourbon is very, when you're from Kentucky, bourbon's very much a part of the lifestyle. So like the first album I did was Bourbon Broads and Beats. The second album was Bourbon for Breakfast, and this is going to be the final part of the trilogy, and it's Bourbon Blues: The Final Chapter. So
yeah, that's dope, man. So where can everybody find you at on social media?
Basically Franklin Embry everywhere. Franklin Embry and them Bourbon Boys on YouTube. The easiest way to get to all of my social media is just go to franklinembry.com.
Okay.
And that'll take you to all my social media. It'll take you to my Spotify. It'll take you to my iTunes, YouTube, wherever you stream or listen to music at. It'll take you to all those places. So franklinembry.com is the easiest way to get anywhere. But if you search Franklin Embry on any social media platform, it'll pop up.
That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate you taking out the time to talk to me tonight, man. And I'm sure we're going to see more from you. And
absolutely. I appreciate y'all.
No problem, man. Well, make some noise for him, man. Make some noise for Franklin Embry.
All right, man.
Tonight was a lot of fun to make and watch, and I hope you guys liked it as well. And it was a lot of work, so please like, share, subscribe. Help me grow and grow the channel. And if you wanted to listen to some of the full interviews because they had to be edited for time, you can listen to the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Anchor FM. And you already know, until next week, live your life.